The sky above Earth turned red, not from sunset, but from the fire of alien ships. For weeks, the invaders had hovered in orbit, raining energy beams on cities. Skyscrapers crumbled, forests burned, oceans boiled. Yet the humans did not kneel. They fought back with missiles, lasers, and old-fashioned bombs. The aliens laughed. Their ships were faster, stronger, smarter. "This is boring," growled Commander Vrak, his gelatinous purple body quivering with impatience. His 3 eyes glared at the tiny human fighters zipping below. They throw pebbles at giants. But something was wrong. The humans were too calm. They hid in bunkers, yes, but their faces held secrets. On the ground, President Elena Reyes stood on a rooftop in Mexico City, her wind-blown hair hiding the earpiece buzzing with updates. "They're almost ready," a voice said in her ear. She nodded, gripping the railing as another explosion lit the horizon. "Hold the line," she whispered to the soldiers around her. Just a little longer. Above the Pacific Ocean, the clouds began to swirl, not like a storm, but like a curtain being torn open. The air hummed, low and deep, vibrating in the bones of every creature on the planet. Birds fell silent. Dogs howled. Soldiers stared skyward. Then, with a sound like thunder cracking open the sky, the clouds parted. From the gap came shapes, sleek, silver, monstrous, kilometers long, bristling with guns, thrusters, and glowing engines. Star destroyers, dozens of them. The aliens froze. One human ship had been a nuisance. "Dozens, impossible. Scanners, what are these?" Vrak roared. His crew scrambled, their insect-like limbs clattering over holographic controls. "Unknown origin, unknown tech," one cried. Vrak's eyes widened. "Destroy them!" The alien armada fired. Beams of blue energy lanced toward the destroyers, but the human ships moved like ghosts. They split into formations, some diving, some climbing, others vanishing in flashes of light. Beams missed. Explosions bloomed in empty air. Then the destroyers answered. A thunderous roar shook the sky as hundreds of missiles launched. They streaked past fighter jets, weaving through debris, locking onto alien hulls. The first hit Vrak's flagship. A fireball engulfed its side. Metal melted. Screams echoed through comms. "What is this?" Vrak bellowed, his voice high-pitched with panic. President Reyes smiled. "Meet the Revenge class," she murmured. The War. Destroyers had been built in secret, stolen alien tech, salvaged human scrap, and years of desperation. When the aliens arrived, Earth's best minds had vanished into hidden labs. They'd cannibalized crashed ships, reverse-engineered plasma, cores and forged weapons from moonrock and stolen data. The destroyers were humanity's last gamble. Back in space, the battle turned. One destroyer, Revenge 7 Mean, dove into the heart of the alien fleet. Its belly opened, releasing a swarm of drones, tiny, agile, and hungry. They latched onto alien engines, drilling through armor, detonating inside. Ships spun out of control, colliding with each other. But the aliens were not fools. Commander Vrak, bleeding purple ichor from a gash on his head, snarled into his communicator. "Launch the swarm. Kill everything that breathes." From the largest mothership, a black cloud burst forth. Thousands of drone ships, each the size of a car, screamed toward Earth. They targeted cities, power grids, and the destroyers themselves. One swarm hit Tokyo, vaporizing a mountain. Another tore through a destroyer's wings, sending it crashing into the ocean. President Reyes clenched her jaw. Time to test the next trick. In a bunker under Denver, a team of engineers flipped switches. Satellites hidden in Earth's orbit came alive. They'd been dormant for years, disguised as space junk. Now they aimed their weapons, lasers, powerful enough to slice through planets. "Fire," Reyes ordered. The lasers struck. Alien drones exploded in midair. Motherships cracked like eggs. The swarm faltered. Vrak stared at the carnage. His empire had conquered 300 worlds. None had fought like this. "Retreat," he screeched. But the destroyers would not let them flee. They pursued, guns blazing, carving a path of vengeance across the sky. As night fell, the humans celebrated. Fires burned below, but hope burned brighter. The destroyers had won the day, but in the shadows of Antarctica something stirred. A signal buried deep in ice began to pulse. The victory was short-lived. As dawn broke over the smoldering ruins of Tokyo, the alien motherships regrouped. Commander Vrak's flagship, though battered, still floated in orbit. Smoke poured from its hull, and half its crew lay dead or dying. But Vrak himself remained alive, his gelatinous body sealed inside a reinforced exosuit. His remaining eye glowed red with fury. "They think they've won," he hissed into the comms, "but the hive mind will rise, and when it does, Earth will scream." Beneath Antarctica's icy crust, the hive mind stirred. It was not a ship, nor a creature, but a mind. A pulsating neural network fused with alien technology and ancient Earth minerals. Buried by the aliens centuries ago during a failed colonization attempt, it had waited. Now, the battle above had awakened it. The ground cracked, glaciers groaned. A column of black light erupted from the ice, piercing the sky like a spear. The signal spread, invisible but deadly, latching onto the aliens' tech. Within hours, their drones began to change. Their hulls hardened, their weapons adapted, and their AI learned. By nightfall, the alien fleet had replicated the human star destroyers, twisted, jagged copies bristling with stolen tech. Back in the Denver bunker, President Elena Reyes stared at the holographic feed. Her face was pale. "They've matched us," she muttered. "No. Worse. They've improved." The first clash between the real and fake destroyers happened over New Delhi. Revenge 3. A sleek human ship dove through the clouds, its engines roaring. Suddenly, a mirror image of itself emerged from a warp portal, a blackened, spiked alien copy. The two ships locked eyes. Then they fired. Lasers crisscrossed the sky. Missiles streaked like fireflies. Revenge 3 took a hit. To its engine, alarms blared. The crew scrambled. "Evasive maneuvers," shouted the captain. But the alien destroyer mimicked every move, predicting their tactics. It was like fighting a shadow. On the bridge, Lieutenant Amina Okoro, a young Kenyan pilot with a scar across her cheek, gritted her teeth. "We need to hack them," she said. "Their AI's learning too fast." "Can't," growled the tech officer. "Their systems are locked. They're using our own encryption." Amina frowned. She'd studied AI at university. She knew how these things worked. "Then we confuse them," she said. She ripped open a panel, bypassing security protocols. "Feed them false data, make them think they're fighting themselves." She slammed a button. Suddenly, the alien destroyer's sensors glitched. Its targeting system went haywire. It fired at its own wingman, mistaking it for Revenge 3. Chaos erupted. The human ship dove through the carnage, escaping by inches, but the victory was small. Across the globe, the alien destroyers were winning. In Antarctica, the hive mind grew stronger. Its tendrils spread through the ice, hacking into Earth's satellites, power grids, and even old landlines. It learned the planet's secrets. It found blueprints for the star destroyers. It discovered humanity's weakness. Electricity. At 3:01 a.m. GMT, the hive mind struck. Every screen on Earth flickered. Phones, TVs, radar systems, all displayed the same message: obey or perish. Then the power died. Cities plunged into darkness. Fighter jets fell from the sky. Satellites tumbled out of orbit. Even the Star Destroyer's engines sputtered. President Reyes slammed her fist on the desk. "They're cutting us off," she shouted. "Restore power." "We can't," a technician yelled. "The hive mind's inside the grid. It's everywhere." Reyes's mind raced. They needed a way to fight back. Fast. Meanwhile, in a dusty village in Kenya, Amina Okoro's younger sister, Dr. Zara Okoro, paced her lab. She was a neuroscientist, not a soldier, but she'd been watching the battle on a battery-powered radio. The hive mind's using electricity, she muttered. So, what if we overload it? She grabbed a notepad, scribbled equations, tested theories. Hours passed, then she had it. The hive mind's neural network is alive, she whispered. It's not just a machine, it's biological. So if we overload the grid, we might fry its brain. But how? Earth's power plants were already dead. Then she remembered. Kenya's geothermal plant. It was small, outdated, but still functional. If she could reroute its energy into a global pulse, she sprinted to the village square where survivors huddled around fires. We need to build a transmitter, she said. Now. The villagers stared. You're insane, one growled. Maybe, Zara said, but if we don't, we all die. Back in Denver, President Reyes watched helplessly as alien destroyers closed in on Moscow. The city's defenses were down. The hive mind's signal blared from every speaker. Surrender. Your species is obsolete. Then a beep. A single satellite flickered online. President Reyes. A voice crackled through static. This is Dr. Zara Okoro in Kenya. I have a plan. Reyes leaned closer. Talk to me, Zara explained. Overload the geothermal plant. Blast a pulse through the hive mind's network, fry its circuits. It's risky, Zara warned. The pulse could knock out all electronics on Earth, including your destroyers. Reyes hesitated. Sacrifice technology for survival? No choice, she said. Do it. In Kenya, Zara and the villagers rigged a makeshift transmitter. They stripped wires from old cars, welded copper coils, and linked everything to the geothermal plant. 3 minutes to charge, a mechanic yelled. Outside, alien drones descended. Lasers scorched the village. People screamed. Hurry, Zara shouted. The transmitter hummed. Lights flickered. The ground shook. Then, boom! A wave of white light exploded from the tower, racing across the globe. In Antarctica, the hive mind shrieked. Its neural network melted. The ice cracked. The black light vanished. In orbit, the alien destroyers spasmed. Their AI fried, their engines died. One by one, they fell like stones. On Earth, every screen went dark. Every phone died. Even the human star destroyers drifted, powerless. Silence. Then a voice over the comms. It's done. Zara Okoro collapsed, exhausted but alive. President Reyes smiled. We won. But in the shadows of a ruined city, a single alien drone twitched. Its eye flickered. It had survived. The silence didn't last. 3 days after the hive mind's destruction, Earth survivors emerged from bunkers, blinking at the ruins of their world. Cities were dark, planes grounded, satellites dead. The pulse that fried the alien AI had also knocked out every electronic system on the planet. Humanity was blind, deaf, and stumbling in the dark, but the aliens weren't done. In Nairobi, Dr. Zara Okoro huddled over a battery-powered radio, her hands shaking. Static crackled. Then a voice. Zara, is that you? It was her sister, Lieutenant Amina Okoro, piloting what remained of the Revenge fleet. We're floating in the Atlantic, Amina said. Engines are dead. No comms. We're adrift. Zara cursed under her breath. The pulse had saved Earth but left it defenseless. Without power, the star destroyers were lifeless metal shells. We need to reboot the grid, she told Amina, but the hive mind's code is everywhere. If we restore power too fast, it'll reboot them. Amina's voice tightened. Too late. Something's moving in Antarctica. Beneath the frozen continent, the surviving alien drone twitched. Its eye flickered. The hive mind's core was gone, but its backup systems had survived deep underground. The drone synced with the remnants, uploading stolen data, fragments of alien code reassembled, like a brain regrowing from shards. Then a signal. Across the globe, dormant alien tech sputtered to life. In Tokyo, a crashed drone whirred. In New Delhi, a biomechanical pod cracked open. In the Arctic, a buried transmitter blinked red. The aliens had planned for failure, and now Earth would pay. President Elena Reyes stood in the ruins of the Denver bunker, staring at a map of the world. Red dots blinked where alien tech was waking up. "They're building something," she muttered. Her tech chief, a scarred engineer named Park, nodded. "A signal is spreading. It's sinking every alien machine left on Earth." Reyes clenched her fists. "What does it want?" Park swallowed. "A weapon. Big." In Kenya, Zara Okoro worked non-stop. She and the villagers scavenged copper wires, car batteries, and solar panels to build a crude, clean grid. A network of isolated power sources immune to the hive mind's code. But progress was slow. Without satellites, they couldn't track the aliens' movements. Without computers, they couldn't decode the signal. Then, a knock at the lab door. Amina stood there soaked in sweat and grime, flanked by 2 soldiers. "We stole a truck," she said, grinning. "Thought you might need help." Zara hugged her sister. "You're just in time. We've got to stop whatever's coming." In Antarctica, the aliens' weapon began to take shape. The hive minds, remnants fused with the ice, creating a monstrous structure, a towering spire of black crystal and pulsing veins. It hummed with energy, drawing power from geothermal vents and stolen alien tech. At its peak, a dish-like array aimed skyward. "What's it doing?" a technician asked Commander Vrak. The alien leader, half his body burned, stared through his remaining eye. "Calling home," he hissed. The dish fired. A beam of light shot into space, piercing clouds and stars alike. On Earth, Zara's radio crackled. "Zara, it's Park," President Reyes's tech chief shouted. "They're summoning more ships. We've got hours before reinforcements arrive." Zara froze. "How many?" "Thousands," Amina cursed. "We can't fight that." Zara paced. "We don't have to. We just have to shut down the signal." "How?" "The spire. If we blow it, the beam dies." Amina smirked. "I'm good at blowing things up." The plan was insane. Zara's team would rig a convoy of drones with explosives. Amina's pilots would fly them to Antarctica. The drones would crash into the spire, detonating a chain reaction. Simple, suicidal. As they prepped the drones, Park radioed again. "Wait, there's more." The spire wasn't just calling for help, it was broadcasting a virus, a digital plague designed to corrupt human minds. Once activated, it would turn Earth survivors into obedient slaves. "We're out of time," Reyes ordered. "Launch now." The drones took off at sunset. Amina piloted the lead ship, flanked by 3 others. Below, Zara monitored their progress on a flickering screen. "You're halfway there," she said. Then, boom. A blast lit up the radar. 1 drone down. Alien interceptors had ambushed them. Amina gritted her teeth. "Keep going. 2 drones." Left, they plunged into Antarctica's stormy skies, ice cliffs rising like fangs. The spire loomed ahead, glowing with sickly light. "Now!" Amina shouted. The drones dove. One exploded against the spire's base. The second slammed into its core. A blinding flash, the spire cracked. The beam died. Silence. Then, kaboom! The spire imploded, swallowing the ice in a fireball. Back in Kenya, Zara collapsed, sobbing with relief. "It's over," she whispered, but Amina's voice cut through the static. "Zara, we've got a problem." The explosion had triggered something else. A shockwave raced across the ocean. Earthquakes shook continents, volcanoes roared to life, and in the depths of space, the alien signal still traveled. Home. The world burned. Volcanoes erupted in Indonesia, Japan, and Yellowstone. Tsunamis swallowed coastal cities. Earthquakes split highways and toppled skyscrapers. The shockwave from Antarctica's destroyed spire had triggered nature's wrath, and humanity, already crippled by the EMP pulse, staggered under the weight of its own planet. In Nairobi, Dr. Zara Okoro huddled over her makeshift radio, her hands blistered from soldering wires. Static crackled, then a voice. "Zara, we're losing people." It was her sister, Lieutenant Amina Okoro, stranded on a floating wreckage of the Revenge 7 in the Atlantic. Ships are sinking. Planes are grounded. We need help. Zara's stomach twisted. We're trying, she muttered. Around her, survivors in Kenya's village lab scavenged scrap metal, car engines, and solar panels to rebuild the clean grid, a network of power sources immune to alien code. But progress was slow. Without satellites, they couldn't track disasters. Without computers, they couldn't predict where the next quake would strike. Then the sky screamed. A shadow fell over the village. A sleek silver pod dropped from the clouds, landing with a thud in the dirt. Zara froze. The pod hissed open. Inside, a human body, or what was left of it. The corpse wore a United Nations armband. Its chest was carved with symbols. Alien script, glowing faintly red. It's a message, whispered a villager. Zara translated the symbols aloud. Earth's defiance will end. Your children will kneel. In Denver, President Elena Reyes stood in the ruins of the bunker, her face streaked with ash. The walls trembled as another earthquake shook the ground. Her tech chief, Park, handed her a battered tablet. Satellite. Recon, if you can call it that, he muttered. The screen flickered. Blurry images showed alien ships assembling in deep space. Thousands of them, larger and deadlier than before. At the center, a monstrous warship shaped like a skull. They're coming back, Park said. Reyes clenched her fists. How long? 6 weeks, maybe less. Outside, survivors screamed as a volcano erupted in the distance. In Antarctica, the aliens regrouped. Commander Vrak's half-burned body was sealed in a new exosuit, a jagged black machine fused with stolen human tech. Around him, drones dragged the remains of the spire into a massive crater. From the depths, a new structure rose, a biomechanical fortress pulsing with green light. They think they've won, Vrak growled to his remaining crew, but we've learned their weakness, their fragility. He pointed a clawed hand at Earth's image on a holographic map. This time, we bring the storm. Back in Kenya, Zara Okoro paced her lab, the alien message burning in her mind. They're toying with us, she told a group of engineers. The spire wasn't just a signal, it was a test. They wanted to see how we'd react. Amina's voice crackled over the radio. We don't have time for philosophy, sis. People are dying, Zara snapped. Dying because we're blind. We need to see the big picture. She turned to the engineers. How do we rebuild the grid? Fast? Park's voice boomed from the radio. There's one way, the old way. Zara frowned. Explain. The moon base, Park said. Before the EMP, we had a quantum relay there. If we restore it, we can reboot satellites and power grids worldwide. Zara's breath caught. The moon? It's our only shot. The plan was madness. Amina's pilots would fly a repaired drone to the moon base. Zara would lead a team to rewire the quantum relay. Meanwhile, President Reyes would rally Earth survivors to build a last-line defense, a wall of lasers around the equator. As preparations began, Zara found herself staring at the alien corpse in the lab. She pried a device from its belt, a small glowing orb. Inside, a map of Earth dotted with red points. These are their targets, she whispered. Amina's voice cut through the static. Then let's hit them first. The moon mission launched at dawn. The drone, patched with scrap metal and powered by Zara's clean grid, roared into the sky. Inside, Zara, 2 engineers, and a cargo hold full of explosives. The journey was silent, the stars cold and indifferent. After hours, the moon loomed ahead. Its surface was scarred by alien attacks, but the relay station still stood, a skeletal tower glowing faintly blue. Zara and her team landed. The air was thin, the silence deafening. They worked fast, rewiring the relay's core with stolen alien tech. Then the alarms blared. Red lights flashed. Outside the window, alien drones. Dozens of them, descending from a cloaked mothership. They found us. One engineer gasped. Zara grabbed the orb. We finish this, now. On Earth, President. Reyes stared at the equator's laser wall. It was half finished, a skeletal array of towers and wires. Park shouted, "And we need more time." Reyes barked into the comms. "Tell every survivor to grab a wrench. We light this thing up tonight." In Nairobi, villagers welded beams under a blood-red sun. In Moscow, soldiers dragged cables through snow. In Tokyo, engineers scavenged scrap from ruins. The world united, sparks flying in every time zone. Back on the moon, Zara's team fought for survival. The engineers rigged explosives around the relay. Zara uploaded the alien map into the system. "If we blow this, we fry their targets and the relay," she said. Amina's voice crackled. "Do it." Zara slammed the detonator. The relay exploded in a burst of white light. On Earth, the lasers roared to life. Beams of energy lanced across the equator, forming a glowing ring. The red points on Zara's orb vanished, blown to dust. But the aliens were already here. A fleet of drones descended over Nairobi. The lasers sliced through them, but more came. Amina's drone dove from the sky, guns blazing. Villagers fired makeshift rockets. The ground shook with explosions, then silence. The last alien drone fell. The lasers dimmed. Zara's voice crackled over the comms. "We did it." But President Reyes knew better. This was just the beginning. Across the globe, survivors stared at the stars. They were watching, waiting. The stars went dark. Not from nightfall, but from the shadow of an alien armada. Thousands of warships, each larger than a city, loomed at the edge of Earth's orbit. At their center floated the Vengeance, a skull-shaped flagship bristling, with weapons that could vaporize continents. Commander Vrak stood on its bridge, his gelatinous body sealed in a jagged exosuit. His single eye glowed red. "This time," he hissed, "Earth dies." On the ground, humanity scrambled. President Elena Reyes stood in the ruins of the Denver bunker, her face streaked with soot. The equator's laser wall still glowed faintly, but half its towers were destroyed in the chaos. Park, her scarred tech chief, slammed a fist on a broken console. "They're scanning us," he growled. "They'll hit us with everything." Reyes clenched her jaw. Then we hit back. Across the globe, survivors rallied. In Nairobi, Dr. Zara Okoro and her sister Amina worked in a lab lit by flickering solar lamps. Zara held the alien orb, the one they'd pried from the corpse weeks ago. Its glow pulsed faster now, syncing with the Armada's approach. "They're using this to coordinate," she muttered. "If we hack it," Amina smirked, "we fry their brains." The first strike came at dawn. The Vengeance fired a beam of black energy. It sliced through the Pacific, boiling the ocean and triggering tsunamis. Coastal cities drowned. Alien drones rained down, melting forests and cities in firestorms. President Reyes barked orders into a battered radio. "Zara, whatever you're doing, do it now." "We need more time," Zara yelled back. "You don't have it." Above Moscow, the last human star destroyers launched a desperate counterattack. Revenge 9, its hull scarred and engines smoking, dove into the swarm. Its guns roared, blasting drones into space, but the aliens adapted. Their ships mimicked the destroyer's tactics, turning human ingenuity against itself. Amina ducked as a drone exploded near their lab. "Zara, hurry!" "I'm trying." Zara's fingers flew over a keyboard. The orb's data streamed onto a cracked screen. "Got it." She slammed a button. The orb's signal flipped, broadcasting a corrupted version of the alien's own code. In orbit, the Armada shuddered. The aliens faltered. Their ships twitched mid-battle, their AI glitching. One destroyer mistook its wingman for a target, blasting it into scrap. Another fired its main gun too soon, tearing its own hull apart. Commander Vrak roared in fury. "They've hacked us! Kill the signal!" But Zara was ahead of him. She'd rerouted the orb's signal through the moon's dead quantum relay, bouncing it across Earth's clean grid. The aliens couldn't trace it, couldn't stop it. "Now!" Reyes shouted. The equator's laser wall blazed to life. Beams of white-hot energy lanced into the sky, carving through alien hulls. Survivors on the ground cheered as ships exploded in chains of fireballs. But the vengeance wasn't done. Vrak's eye twitched. Deploy the necrosis. From the flagship's belly, a monstrous device unfolded. A black sphere with rotating rings, humming with dark energy. It was a black hole generator, stolen from a dead civilization. If activated, it would swallow Earth whole. Park stared at the feed. That thing's gonna... I know, Reyes interrupted. We stop it. How it row? She grabbed a helmet. We crash into it. In Nairobi, Zara and Amina stole a repaired drone. You're insane, Amina muttered as she climbed into the cockpit. So's the president, Zara shot back, strapping into the passenger seat. The drone roared into the sky, dodging alien fire. Below, survivors scrambled to shield cities with debris. In Denver, Reyes boarded a battered fighter flanked by 2 pilots. Let's light these bastards up, she said. The Vengeance's black hole generator hummed louder. Rings spun faster. A vortex began to form, sucking in debris, drones, even light. Dive, Reyes shouted. Her fighter plunged toward the sphere, guns blazing. Zara's drone followed, weaving through explosions. The black hole's pull grew stronger. Ships disintegrated at its edge. Then, boom. Reyes' fighter rammed the generator's core. The explosion lit up the hemisphere. Silence. The black hole collapsed. The vortex vanished. The Vengeance shields flickered. Zara's drone limped back to Nairobi, its wings scorched. Amina slumped in her seat, breathing hard. Did we? Yes, Zara whispered. Above Earth, the alien armada broke formation. Half their ships were crippled. The rest turned tail, fleeing into warp space. Commander Vrak's scream echoed through dead comms. This is not the end! The war was over, but Earth was broken, cities lay in ruins, oceans were poisoned, millions were gone. Yet survivors emerged from bunkers staring at the stars. The aliens had fled, but their message lingered. This is not the end. President Reyes's fighter never returned. Her last transmission played on every radio. We won, but we're not safe, not yet. Zara stood on a Nairobi rooftop, holding the cracked orb. Its glow faded, but its data remained, a map of alien worlds, coordinates blinking like stars. They've got more out there, she murmured. Amina joined her. Then we get ready. Across Earth, survivors rebuilt. They stripped alien wrecks for tech, trained new pilots, and fortified cities. The clean grid expanded, powering labs, weapons, and hope. Years later, a child asked Zara, "Why did you fight them?" She smiled. Because we're not just survivors. We're builders. And one day we'll go to the stars. Not as prey, but as warriors. Above, the sky was quiet. Too quiet.